Elliot here from the Bear Pit TV for the Transfer Show Live. Now we're going to be getting into some of the stories that have happened in the past couple of days, but first up, something from today, and that is Jake Dunwoody and Tom Edwards have signed their first professional contracts. Now, Tom Edwards, of course, was Young Player of the Season, and he's delighted that he's got his contract what he's probably deserved, no doubt about that. And it'd be good to see if for the rest of the season, for the season coming, that he can push on and challenge, Glenn Johnson and Phil Bardsley at right back, because, they're both getting on. A lot of us would have probably liked to have seen a right back come in this transfer window, but with Bardsley and Glenn Johnson signing new deals, it doesn't look like that's going to happen. So hopefully Tom Edwards can go and push on and sort of challenge them all for a place. I don't see why he couldn't. There must be some talent there for him to get Young Player of the Season, and he's been recently picked up by the England youth squad. So hopefully he can make a challenge to a first team spot. Next up, the Josh Tymon deal seems to have hit a bit of a snag. Hull are trying to claim that they activated a extension to his contract, and obviously with them going down, they're probably really keen to keep hold of a young talent who's not on that much of a wages. Apparently he was on as little as £450 a week, which obviously isn't little to the majority of us, but in footballers' terms, it's not a great deal. But apparently we've got this deal done. John Percy, who's the gospel of Stoke City transfers, said it'd be done on Monday, but it still hasn't been announced, so it might be on Wednesday, because that's when the players return from pre-season holidays and back to the club to start pre-season. But Josh Tymon, like I've said many a time before, I'd rather have gone out and signed, say, a Robertson, or we missed out on Maguire, a more established left back. Josh Tymon, I don't know if he's going to sit in there and sort of challenge Eric straight away. And Eric was probably the weak link of last season for us. But hopefully it does get approved on Wednesday when the players do come back, and hopefully it's not hit a snag like some people are reporting, such as the Sentinel. But we'd just like to see this. We'd like any player to come in at the moment, wouldn't we? Just sign someone. Next up, Jon Walters has been made a prime target for Aston Villa. Apparently, they're bolstering the squad. They signed John Terry today on a free contract from Chelsea, and we were linked with him at one point. Apparently, he was one of the destinations, but he's dropped out of the Premier League. Says he couldn't face playing against Chelsea again. He's gone to Aston Villa, and apparently they want to bolster their squad with Jon Walters as well. Our record all-time Premier League scorer, still a full international for Ireland. I can't wait this one out. I don't know if I'd want him to stay. My head says let him go. My heart says keep him. I really can't make my mind up on this one. Jon Walters, obviously, he's been there since we came up. He's been vital for us. He always gives us a different dimension to our game. But do we want to stay in that dimension? Do we want to change our football? A lot of people are saying if we want to change and be a different kind of Stoke City, then this is one of the steps we've got to take. We've got to get rid of Jon Walters and some of the old guard. Let me know in the comments below. I will answer a lot of questions at the end of this stream. And next up, tickets for Crewe. Stoke 11 will be playing against Crewe away for pre-season, and they are now on sale. We are going to be in Switzerland for pre-season this weekend. On Sunday, we could play against Neuchâtel and also Young Boys, and then Monaco a few days later in a different tournament. Can't wait for that. Do let me know in the comments what sort of videos you want to see us do. We're obviously going to be recording the podcast out there. The podcast starts again tomorrow as well for all those who've been keenly waiting for it. But let's go over to Facebook and have a look at some of your comments. Right, here we go. Maybe my iPad isn't working, I'll get them from somewhere else. So Rhiannon Gallimore says, what about Bolton? When did they go on sale? I believe they already have. So I'd go and double check that, because I think the Bolton tickets have been on sale for a while now. Martin Moss says, Super Jon Walters is one of our better players, always gives 100%. So that's Martin Moss, doesn't want to see him go. He's in that camp, wants to keep Jon Walters and some of the old guard. Shane Davis makes a good point. Javier Hernandez, formerly of Manchester United, little poacher, the little P, so to say, scored that brilliant backwards header against us at the Britannia. He's now on sale for 13 million. Would we want to maybe have a dabble? 13 million. Apparently, it could be off to West Ham. I don't know. He's going to get you goals, but would he want to come to Stoke? Would he want to return to the Premier League? He's currently at Bayer Leverkusen. He's been playing in the Champions League for the past couple of seasons. Obviously still a full Mexico international as well. Let me know in the comments what you think about Shane Davis's comment. Would you go for Javier Hernandez? Ben Bolt says Everton spending big already, and they're spending massively. It looks like they're already spending the Romelu Lukaku money. They've already got Jordan Pickford for 30 million. They've got Klaassen from Ajax, it was another 25 million. They've got Onyekuru, they're sending back out on loan. Sandro Ramirez up front, they've signed for 5 million. And then later today, Michael Keane for a cool 25 million, could rise to 30. So they're spending an absolute ton of money, showing some real ambition under the new owner, Mashiri. And it does look like, though, that they're spending the Romelu Lukaku money. Conte's come out and said, however much it costs, getting back to Chelsea, because they need a striker, because Diego Costa is off. Let me have a look at some more of your comments. Callum Gani, I hope I've said that right, says, Elliot, we've got free coach travel next season. Yes, we have. Let's have a look at some more. Daniel Flint says Everton have done that because they are loaded. They are loaded, but they're also getting a lot of money in from Romelu Lukaku. Robert Robertson says 30 million in today's market is nothing, on about the Javier Hernandez signing. Ant Jepsen says, let's bring in Hernandez, 100% bring him in. Jordan Kelly, what happened to signing Tymon? As I said, it's probably going to go through, if anything, on Wednesday when the players return from pre-season. But like I say, there's this apparent snag that Hull have extended his deal. I'm not sure how true it is. John Percy usually gets everything spot on, but he did say that we'd sign him on Monday, and I haven't seen anything as of yet, unless, Stoke City have got the pizzas in and they're doing a late night announcement. Les Vickers says Super John has to stay, another person who wants him to stay. Sam Richards says, what about the young left back that plays for Barca B? That was a right back, and I think you are on about Sergi Palencia. But like I say, Glenn Johnson and Phil Bardsley have both signed new deals, so I can't see any space for a right back. If anything, Tom Edwards, who's just signed a new deal, can maybe have an attempt at trying to dislodge those two, but it looks like we've got our right back cover sorted for next season. Let's have a look at some more. Samuel Dale says Bojan needs go and Hughes out. Philip Pinches says sell Johnny Walters. No. Who would Hughes turn to if it all goes tits up? Chris Smith says Elliot, take your clothes off. Not a chance. I've only got new Stoke training kit. Quite smart. Pretty much think this is better than the away kit. I'm going to get some more as well for when we go to Switzerland this weekend. And Jepsen says, why would he get rid of Hughes? Madness. Hughes is going nowhere, and that's quite obvious now, so everyone's got to sort of get behind the club and the players for the season, or it'll be a bit toxic down at the Bet365 Stadium. Whatever you thought, I wanted Hughes out, I'm not going to lie, I wanted Hughes gone, but he's not going anywhere. So, all you got to do is get behind the players and the manager for the season coming up. Lee Winter says Sturridge from Liverpool. I don't think Klopp's very keen on letting him go. It seems he wants him in his plans for next season as a backup. I don't think he'll be starting with their front line, what they've got at the minute. Couple more comments and then we're off. Let's have a look. Stephen Blair says, if we could sign anyone realistic, who would you sign, Elliot? That's a difficult one. Do you know what? I'll go for the cop-out. I'd sign Bruno. I think we just need to get that done. Stop quabbling over a couple of million. I still find it completely daft that we didn't take the chance to sign him when we could for a reasonable amount in my eyes. When you see Michael Keane going for 25 to 30 million. Bruno deal should have been done. We should have took it when we had the first option on him. We made a little bit of a gamble, and now Porto and why not selling back to us, which I think is madness. I think we should have just got the Bruno deal done. Let's have a look. Any more questions? Simon Barber says we need some young players in. Centre midfield, we missed the legs. Lamina, Delph, any truth in Luan? I don't think there's any truth in the Luan story. It did come from the Sun, and they said that we needed to sell players to fund the deal. I don't think Coates and Bet365 are short of any money. So I can't see us needing to sell Shaqiri or Arnautovic to fund a deal, and I don't think we're going to be selling either of those pair this summer. Lucas Marshall says, do you think Bojan will play again for us? Yeah, I do. I think that Mark Hughes is going to give him his chance. He's made it quite obvious. He said the slate is wiped clean. I don't know what slate there was. I don't know what Bojan had done wrong. But it seems quite obvious that for me, that if Bojan wants to, that he'll be back in the Stoke City fold next season. And hopefully, I'd love nothing more than to come back into the number 10 role and shine. And there was some signs of that in the latter stages of the loan spell at Mainz. He scored a goal against Bayern Munich, got player of the weekend, and started showing glimpses of what he can do again, after he'd had a run in the side. Hopefully, he can do that also with a full pre-season behind him. Lisa Poole says, hi. Callum Lawton says, will we sign someone as backup for Sido? Depends what happens with John, Juve, Crouch is obviously staying. But it depends what got Joselu coming back as well. Will he go to Malaga, which is rumoured? That has been your transfer show. Thank you for all your comments. We will be back doing this more often. Do let me know if you want to see some of these when we're out in Switzerland as well. The podcast starts tomorrow, so do send us in any of your questions for that. Thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe wherever you are. See you later.